I guess it's time we should talk about the sentence that was laid upon me this past week. The ruling came down from the International Fecal Statistics and Weight Matters in Zurich, Switzerland. I was banned by the demo god himself, Chris Jericho, from watching any more AEW wrestling or AEW Dark. This was on Twitter, so you know it's official. He tweeted specifically that I was banned from watching either program. And I tweeted back, honestly, I tweeted back, I wanted him to know that I appreciated that he was concerned for my mental health and my sanity, but I felt like I had to do it for the people who deserve it and need it in these cosplay times that we're living in. But I did remind him, and don't worry, I never watched Dark. The hashtags were of concern to some people. I hashtagged as we were talking last week, little bit of the virus. Also hashtag COVID God, which that tickled a number of people right up between the uprights, right in the taintal area. It tickled some people. But I was banned, and I know people are thinking, well, how are we going to do our programming? And I want you to know now, shh, don't tell anybody. This is just between us. Brian knows this, and the only other people that are going to find out about this are the people that are listening to the show right now. If you don't tell anybody, they won't know. But I snuck downstairs. I peeked out the curtains to make sure nobody was around. I closed them. I turned all the lights off in the room. I turned the TV on, but I even turned the brightness down so it wasn't too bright. And Brian, you know what I did? I watched the show.
I don't know what Chris Jericho will say about that.
Well, he's not going to find out because nobody's going to tell him. I've just prefaced everybody to not say anything. You know, I saw people responding to his tweet. A lot of people responded to both of our tweets. I saw people responding, it's about time. It's about that'll show him. It's about time. I was sick of him watching that show and having all those things to say. Well, thank goodness we don't have to. Like it was something that was enforceable. They took it seriously. Which I guess, actually, when you think about it, people of a mental age who will watch this programming would take something like that seriously. However,
we won't ban you from listening to the show, Chris, but throughout the day, maybe someone should cut you off.
Well, his wife already did that. No, that's a Rodney Dangerfield line. I tell you, my wife cut me down to twice a week. That's okay. I know some guys she cut out entirely. But no, in all seriousness, there are two schools of thought on this because obviously Chris knows that he does not have the power to officially ban me from watching the cable broadcasts that are beamed into my own home. But there's two schools of thought. And the first one, Brian, was one that you subscribe to this. You have preferred, not P-R-E-F-E-R, prefer as in like, but proffered, P-R-O-F-F-E-R, as in promoted or brought forth with the theory that he was deflecting from his current controversy, which I brought the people back to when I mentioned a little bit of the virus, COVID God, because we talked about it last week. He played the kind. Now, have you seen the footage? Have you seen some of the videotape of the concert and the goings-on in Sturgis, South Dakota? Sturgis, that sounds like a promo I did for the WWF in Utica one time. I said Utica, New York. Utica sounds like a noise you make right before you throw up. So does Sturgis. Sturgis. They were all over each other, slobbering, drooling, bikers and biker periphery people, slobbering around all over each other, drinking, carrying on like proper heathens. And somebody did make mention on Twitter somewhere, I wish Jim wouldn't knock the motorcycle folks. I wouldn't knock the motorcycle folks either, except every single news report, every single piece, every single photograph, every single piece of written material, every television report that you see on these things What are the bikers like? The bikers like motorcycles, guns, and Trump, and America, and flags, and patriotism, and all that stuff. And that's the last thing we need. I am in favor of all of them getting together and spreading germs around amongst each other that could Darwinize the situation here. However, Jericho, who's got to be on national television, in just a few days afterwards, decides to go out and cavort amongst all these people. And I've been getting little chit chat that Jericho, I know he had a picture taken with old, which was it? Was it Douchebag Von Fuckface or Thurston Shitbag III? One of President Pigshit's kids. He had a picture with him not long ago. I can't remember which one it was, but the point is, it's Jericho. See, he's sounding a little right-wing Trump-like for my taste here these days. But anyway, you thought, Brian, and other people thought that he was using the Chewbacca defense. He was using the Chewbacca defense by deflecting, fading the heat, as we used to say in the wrestling business, fading the heat over to me, saying, oh, I know I did a horrible thing exposing myself and everyone I come in contact with to a bunch of these biker COVID germs in Sturgis, South Dakota, but Jim Cornette's a rotten person. Look at him over here. And then he used the Chewbacca defense. Now, if Chewbacca is a Wookiee from Endor, well, it does not make sense. Look at the pretty monkey. And he shined a flashlight on the wall, and some people went to me instead of him. That's your theory, is it not, Great Brian Last?
Oh, yeah. My theory is Jericho, rightly so, is getting killed by everyone for the irresponsible decision to have his band play several shows, including the Sturgis motorcycle rally, where despite them saying we played only half capacity and despite there being masks given out at the door, you could see the footage, you could see the photos. It was an incredibly irresponsible decision by Chris Jericho. If I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't have let him show up this past week. I would have told him to sit at home for a couple weeks because of that. But he was getting killed everywhere. That's why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it became...
Out of nowhere?
It became Jim Cornette is banned. Get out of here.
Irresponsibility from the Ayatollah of Rock and Rona. I'm becoming infected with COVID in my bloodstream. I'm becoming. But see, that's one way to look at it.
Judas in his lungs.
Judas in his lungs. That's one way to look at it. However, I have another thought. Which I will float out now for the listeners. He's going for the ratings. He, in a shameless bid, he knows where I've got a big match coming up. This is what Chris Jericho was thinking to himself. I got a big match coming up with this fucking idiot that puts his hands in his pockets. And for some reason, the two dogs fucking on the side of the road principle is not worn thin yet. And they tune in to see what the fuck stupid shit this guy's going to do. Because we've established now, I think over the last few weeks, we know it, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Even the people at AEW know it. People are watching their TV show to laugh at the fuck-ups and the stupid. We've established that. So Chris Jericho knew, where can I go to get a large group of people that will tune in to see how stupid this thing is going to be? If I rattle Jim Cornette's followers, if I rattle that cage, they'll watch it. Not only will Cornette watch it, but they'll watch it just to get even with me, just to stick it back in my face. That's what Jericho was there. So he was trying to promote his match with Little Dog Pockets. And I see it very clearly. He may be the demo god, but he was going to the ratings god, Jim Cornette, because I don't just stick to a demographic. No, my appeal is far and wide. My appeal is broad. My appeal covers the globe like a shroud, actually more like a comforting blanket. My voice and the reach of my voice and the power of my thoughts covers the globe like a comforting blanket. And Chris Jericho wanted to slide underneath the corner of that blanket and get some of my warmth onto his TV ratings this past week. I know exactly what he wanted to do. And I don't blame him because, after all, like I said, I have a wide appeal to every demographic, men, women, children, old, young. The only qualifier to be a part of my audience, Brian, as you know this very well, is to actually be smart, intelligent. It helps. That way you understand all the words we use. So he knows the smart people, the intelligent people, the wrestling fans that listen to us are only going to watch this show for the fuck-ups and the goofs. But he doesn't care because he wants the numbers. The demo god had to bow to the ratings god to go get the big numbers. Is like when I used to get on the radio, if I had a big match with Ronnie Garvin in Charlotte or something, I'd shamelessly go around and plug it on every radio station that I could. I'd get in the newspaper. This is the same thing he was doing. He was coming to the biggest broadcaster that he knows how to come to get a leg up on what he hoped to get a leg up on these numbers on his big match with his little puppy. And that made me think, a lot of people have been speculating. We've talked about it over the last month. When I was talking about the television program on a regular basis, the ratings, they were staying somewhat all right. Then we quit, and they lost 200,000 viewers. Then we started talking about them again, and they got those 200,000 viewers back. And we naturally and rightfully assumed that it's the 200,000 people that listen to us that also want to see, if they can't see good wrestling, they want to see a fucking shit show. They want to see a hoot. They want to, what's the Outlaw show going to do on national TV this week? That's the way they're watching. What do the kids call it? They're watching it ironically, right? It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's like an Ed Wood movie. They want to see how bad it's going to be. So I thought what we'd do is we'd get the numbers together, Brian, and you helped me on this research, and I appreciate that. But I thought we would just compare, before we do the programs this week, we would compare and see who has the reach, who's the most influential, who's got an audience, what's going on here, right? So I got some numbers. Help me if I do not describe these in the proper fashion. Let's see here. What we did was we took, for the month of July, we took the total viewers of AEW on TNT. We took the total viewers of NXT on USA. Boy, there's a lot of initials here. And we took the total listeners of the Jim Cornette podcasts for the month of July. Now, right off, some of the naysayers and the shit disturbers out there are going to say, wait a minute. They only do one TV show a week, but Cornette does 2 podcasts a week. And my answer to that, the short answer is, blow me. But the long answer is, yeah, motherfucker, you're right. But also, I'm sitting here in my own home with a pair of headphones on, talking into a microphone on Skype to Brian Last. These other 2 fucking entities are national television productions with a production crew and a cast of wrestlers numbering in the hundreds. So fuck you, I get the handicap of having 2 shows per week, because the fucking production budget is markedly different. Would you not agree, Brian Last?
I guess I will agree to that. The production budget is certainly different. Yes.
Certainly there's a disparity.
Our production budget is 0.
So I get the head. Don't tell them that. We don't want to look really off key here. But so I get the handicap on that. So the total viewers, NXT, AEW, and the total listeners, Jim Cornette podcast, month of July. Now, a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute. You got the YouTube. You got YouTube going for you, for everybody. Well, that's true, but we're getting into some apples and oranges here, because I did some research, and the entire television program, the entire 2-hour program in one fucking fell swoop from either one of these companies is not on YouTube. They chop it up and do clips. We, on our YouTube channel, chop it up and do clips, but we also do the complete show. So there's little apples and oranges there. So what we have done is we have eliminated my chopped up clips and their chopped up clips, but we have counted the YouTube listens that these two podcasts that I do get on YouTube in their entirety. Is that clear enough for everybody?
The complete episode as it is on YouTube. Yes.
Complete episode as it is on YouTube, minus sometimes some of the off-color political things I say. So therefore, we're doing complete shows. That's the comparison. Are you ready for a drum roll as I announce the 3 places in this 3-horse race? Drum roll?
I don't have a drum roll. I didn't.
You don't have a drum? What the fuck?
You should have given me a heads up and said, find some drum roll.
What? You're a goddamn. You're on fucking radio. You don't have a goddamn drum roll?
Here, my 300-pound desk and play.
All right.
How's that sound?
Thought you'd be more prepared to give you a heads up for a drum.
Is it too loud? Tell me. Give me some.
No, it's fine
drums.
now. You've rolled enough drums.
I need a cymbal. I need maybe.
Number 3. Within the month of July, 3,504,000 viewers NXT. Number 2. With 3,532,317 Jim Cornette. Number 1, I guess there's no fucking suspense now, 3,869,000 All Friends Wrestling. They beat us by 337,000 people. We beat NXT by 28,000. However, in all fairness, besides the fact that we are growing exponentially year by year, they've been flat and fluctuated, whereas we've had a, 30-40% increase in some of these programs over the course of the last 12 months, or actually even 6 months, more over the last 12 months. So how long is it going to be before we catch them? But anyway, that's what Mr. Jericho was trying to latch onto, was viewers for his little exhibition he was going to have with his little puppy pockets. You know what? Hold on here 1 second. Hold on here just 1 second. Let me find some. Where is it? Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, that's. Oh, there it is. Hold on. There we go. Oh, that's a little much.
It is.
Good heavens. Wait a minute.
I'm just looking at their drum sound effects.
All right. Well, at least we're in the proper mood to review these programs.